service. What he says his main thought was at the time of the shooting.
And as you get out the door this morning, things are a little on the cold side. We have 30s and even some 20s to talk about, and we also have rain on the way. Let you know when you can expect that just ahead.
Well, after severe weather blew through earlier this week, it looks like a quiet day across the valley. Good morning. I'm Chuck Leonard.
And I'm Cheryl. Renee. We'll get to the news in a moment, but first, a quick check of the weather from Storm Team 9 meteorologist Elizabeth Diamore. Happy Friday.
Yes.
Happy Friday to you guys. And it's a cold Friday as we kick off today. We have 30s again across the area and some of those low line spots, even some 20s. So 37 in the Fountain City, clear skies, no rain to talk about today. I said just a second ago, rain's on the way. That's not coming in until the weekend, which I know you don't want to hear that, but we still desperately need that rainfall, so we'll take it. But that's going to be Sunday, so Saturday will be a mostly dry day. 38 on the plains. Elsewhere, we have 34 in Pine Mountain, 41 in Thomaston, 42 there in Americus, and down in Eufaula, waking up at 40 degrees. Some under that 32-degree mark, so it is below freezing for this Friday morning. 59 degrees at the Atlanta airport. No major travel delays expected today. If you are traveling there this weekend, you can always check your flight status at WTVM.com and click on the weather tab. So very cold this morning. Gave that bus ride in a B, and then by the afternoon, again, no major issues. But we'll talk about the rain that's moving in for the weekend just ahead.
Elizabeth, thank you much. It's a minute and a half after the hour now. New details this morning from Smith Station, where 2 people are recovering this morning after a truck collided with a train. Take a look. This was the scene around 10:30 last night on Lee Road 430. Troopers say one of the victims had serious injuries and was airlifted to the hospital. The cause of this crash is not yet known.
Coming up on 2 after the hour this morning, we hear from the Columbus police officer for the first time after being shot in the line of duty. You might remember Officer Joshua McQueen at the top left, who was shot while answering a burglary call on October 21st on Hilton Avenue. Authorities arrested Daniel Crisp at the bottom for the shooting after a 5-hour standoff. McQueen was honored for his service yesterday, and our Georgia Elise has the story.
I knew I got shot. Let the officer that was up there with me know I got shot, let dispatch know on the radio I got shot, and then after that moment, honestly, all I could think about was my kids.
Columbus police officer Josh McQueen was responding to a burglary alarm call on October 21st when police say he was shot in the shoulder at a Hilton Avenue home by 34-year-old Daniel Crisp. McQueen's vest stopped the bullet.
Men and women who make these vests, they count every layer of Kevlar and Dyneema, and they put little pieces of tape around it, and they initial off on it. Josh is going to get an opportunity to walk through the factory. He's also going to get an opportunity to see, talk to, and address, if he wants to, the members of the factory that made the vest that actually saved his life.
Representatives of Point Blank Enterprises, the supplier of body armor for the Columbus Police Department, presented McQueen with a new vest for his bravery and dedication to his community.
When we put on this vest, this badge, this gun, this equipment, we go out into a fight against evil in this world. And I believe if we have faith in God and we believe in Him, He's going to be with us. He won't leave us. He won't forsake us.
Columbus Police Chief Ricky Boren says McQueen's situation is the exact reason wearing a vest on his watch is not up for debate.
Command staff of this department mandatorily requires officers to wear these vests. We do not leave it up to them as to whether or not they want to wear that vest or not.
That was Georgia Elise reporting. Officer McQueen returned to work a month ago. Meanwhile, the man accused of shooting him is in jail without bond.
Now, a News Leader 9 exclusive. We are hearing this morning from Fort Benning soldiers about the integration of women into more parts of the military. Now, we had a chance to sit down with a group of new armor officer graduates that for the first time included 3 women. One of the male graduates says he sees it as more of an integration of talent rather than gender. Another graduate says a female took home the fastest score for loading a 60-pound tank round, doing it in less than 4 seconds. The average time for men, 6 seconds.
We treated them fairly, the same way we would treat any other person of any other gender, and we did just that. We helped them develop into platoon leaders, and now they're going to go forward and become great platoon leaders.
The female graduates say they plan to stay at Fort Benning and attend Ranger School next. And as we see integration of women into more parts of the military, the White House is announcing its support of women in the military draft. News Leader 9's Marla Spence joins us now with more details of that angle. Good morning, Marla.
Good morning, Chuck. We may be able to see more women incorporated into the military at all levels. That's because the Obama administration announced its support to require women to register for the military draft. The announcement came yesterday as 3 women graduated as armor officers at Fort Benning. President Obama has been considering whether to support the draft for women since last December. This is when Defense Secretary Ash Carter ordered the military to open all jobs to women. The White House pointed out that women wouldn't be forced to serve unless there were a national emergency. Now, under the current law, women can volunteer to serve in the military but aren't required to register for the draft. However, all men must register within 30 days of their 18th birthday. Now, President Obama has less than 2 months left in the White House, so although he is hopeful about the new change, it would still require an act of Congress. So far, there are no signs that lawmakers plan to move quickly to change the law. Back to you, Chuck.
Marla, thank you much. This morning, the Pentagon says it has made a deal to forgive debts owed by thousands of California National Guard members. The Defense Department has been trying to collect some $20 million in re-enlistment bonuses to soldiers who served in Iraq and Afghanistan. The deal means only those who knew they were ineligible for the bonuses will have to repay, but the burden of tracking down those soldiers will fall to the government.
In a developing story, sections of Gatlinburg, Tennessee remain blocked off this morning as firefighters continue battling a deadly wildfire. You're looking at newly released drone footage from the town where you can see scorched homes and trees along with a haze covering the area. Authorities say the fire is responsible for the deaths of 11 people, the destruction of more than 700 buildings, and the burning of thousands of acres. And we have more details about the deadly severe weather that left a path of destruction across Alabama. Cleanup and rebuilding has already begun in areas like this in Winston County west of Birmingham and in the town of Rosalie east of Huntsville where 3 people were killed. More than a dozen tornadoes were spotted across the state Wednesday. Yesterday, Governor Robert Bentley spoke with those affected.
There's a fair amount of structural damage, but we've been blessed not to have lost any lives or had any severe injuries in this area.
It's not known if the state will receive any federal aid due to the storms.
Yeah, we wanted rain, we got it, but we got that stuff with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of the weather, let's find out what it's going to do today and look at our traffic as well.
Storm Team 9 meteorologist Elizabeth Diamore. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. A very happy Friday to you. Last commute in for the work weekend. We're looking over at Auburn and Opelika. No major problems to talk about here on the Waze app, so looking good there. Also looking good fog-wise. No fog across Alabama and Georgia, so it should be a very quiet drive into work and coming home. We're going to keep things quiet on the radar all day long after a pretty wet couple of days, but as we get into the weekend, things will change again. We're going to keep things sunny today. Clouds return to the picture on Saturday. Low rain chances tomorrow, but on Sunday we do have a wet one coming in. So you'll want to have the details on that as you get closer to the weekend, and we'll talk those details coming up.
All right, thank you much. Well, now it's the time of year Consumer Reports that says most people overspend, which can do major harm to your credit rating. We have 3 things you should do to keep a positive credit score in a moment.
Plus, the Beauregard Hornets are waking up Alabama State champions. In the next half hour of News Leader 9 Morning, we break down the game and hear from the stars of the game.